Welcome back, Doom fans. Lazygamer here, and in this tutorial I will show in depth how to use 3D floors, because I might have gone through it a bit slowly, so I will do it better here, I hope. Now, by two separate commenters, I have been told that they like to speed up my videos and watch them that way. Not sure how I'm supposed to take that. I suppose it might mean they think I'm a bit slow and go through things at a fairly slow pace. So I will try to speed things up a bit, but I am sure you will still be able to follow me. Now, just hang on one moment. And that is how you do that. What? You think I went a bit fast? Really? Alright. Maybe we can do it a bit slower. Hang on, let me rewind. So, let's start again, shall we? With the beginning of how to use 3D floors, which can be used for pretty much anything, not just making floors. For instance, we can make a giant chair and table, which will be our first example. You can also move sprites or things up and down to fit on said objects. I will show you that as well. Let's start with the table and chair. Or let's start with the chair, actually. To make it easier to see the grid, let's switch to wireframe mode. Let's go to 16. I have hidden our thing here. We don't really need it, and we can have some more real estate, as it were. Not that we need it. The chair, let's start with the legs. They are simply normal sectors. Control-Alt-D. Let's create one sector just for convenience. We'll go in, find it, H to hide and show that. Let's how many? 2, 3, 4. I think that's it. We can adjust it if we want. C to remove selections as usual. Now let's just copy that texture from there just to make it easy on ourselves. There are other ways to do it. This I'm just showing Control C and then middle or scrolling wheel to paste textures as is. Now we have one. Let's go into map view, select, copy this 1, 2, and 3 times. That seems about right. Let's go into visual mode, select these, and make them a little higher. Doesn't really matter. We can adjust them. Those are the back and these are the front. Now we come to the interesting bit. At least I should hope so. We need to make sectors. Well, that's part of the interesting bit. Let's make 2 more sectors in the same manner. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. Now we have 2 more new sectors. We are going to give them a tag, 2 separate tags like in the example. We're not going to use the same because then we could just use this. So we're going to give it a tag of the first unused, which seems to be 14. That's fine. And then this one is going to get the first unused of 15. That's fine. Now, nothing will have changed in here, other than we have 2 more sectors. But now we will start with the 3D so-called part of this. We will need for the chair 2 dummy sectors, and it doesn't really matter how big it is in the oh yeah, sorry. These needs to be. They don't need to be. There are other ways of doing this, but I want to be the what's it called? I wonder why they call me slow. The seat, I want them to cover the whole thing and not go in between. So we need it to be on top of this as well. And for this, we can do that. So let's create 2 dummy sectors. 1, 2. Now, to make the seat, we will need to go into line depth mode. Right click. It doesn't matter which one of them you choose, but I consequently use the right one. Unless I don't, but let's do that. Properties. We need to find where do I actually find them? Line? No. Well, it's 3D. There. It's 160. I'm not 100% sure where they are, but it's 160. Sector, set, 3D floor. It's probably then under sector, surprisingly. Yeah, originally I knew where they were. It's just I have remembered the number for some time now, so I just put it in. And this is going to be for sector 14. Let's put 14 in here. And do we have a seat, do you think? Well, sort of, but it seems to be covering the whole room. That's no good. We need to lower and, well, let's go with making it fit first, shall we? I'm using the wrong thing. You know what? I should have stuck with one at a time, I think. Anyway, now we know which one it is. Let's move the floor up until we hit the bottom there. C to unselect. Now let's find, I'm not gonna show it, but I select the top bit, ceiling it's called also, and let's lower it until we have a seat. There we have a seat. I'm just gonna, there we go. I think it's, that's too high for me. And for convenience, we're also going to have a back to it. Once again, we have our dummy sector. We could have used tag 14 for the back as well, but I don't want the seat to go in here, because if I call this sector 14 as well, it would cover two or the same. It can be done, but I want two separate areas. I will cover the other one later in the next example over here. But one thing at a time. We will need to do this again. $60 and tag number of 15 this time. This is fairly easy, shouldn't be any problems, but I will go through it calm and thorough manner, as I usually do. Unless I ramble, which I can do. Sorry about that. Now we have back. It's in the same condition. So let's have it about there. Then put it down. Incidentally, once you have them inside the room, I couldn't when it hit the ceiling and floor, but when they are inside the room, I can select them here and do the same. This will, however, influence this because it's this we're influencing and not anything in this room. Should we say that's good enough? Could have it there. Yeah, let's have it. Let's change it up a bit, shall we? And then we can just, for convenience, do that. And we have the chair. Now, instead of making 3 more of these, let's just take a sector, copy this, and put them as we want. These are tagged with a new sector, in this case tag 16. We'll just tag them right away. I think we'll I missed one. Oh well, that's fine. This will be the table. See, I made the table go a bit outside the line, so let's make the grid smaller and make another sector like so. This will also have the tag of 16. You are getting the drift by now, I guess, if you haven't from the first. And we need another dummy sector. I made this one slightly larger, not because it needs to be, but because just for me to indicate that this area is larger than this, so I can tell them apart. It doesn't matter, you can make this a Lego brick or Tetris piece for all I care. It will not show up here, but whatever you want it to look like. And we have the tag of 16. And once again, it will look like crap. So let's just make it look slightly nicer. and then floor and ceiling to an acceptable level. I think it's actually a bit taller than this one, but it doesn't matter. The shape in this case is more an example. Anyway, I can get my feet under there now, except this is a giant's table, so I could probably sneak underneath it. And there we have our first example of how we use 3D floors. Misnomer, since we didn't use it for flooring. Now let's move on to the next example. Now in this second example we can see we have a bookcase or something of the sort. There are 4 separate shelves. They all share one tag. Now that's not as hard as it seems either. So let's create one on the opposite side. Let's make our sector yet again. Let's 96. Is that suitable? Let's make it about there. And copy this over here, like so. That's about right. Let's leave it at that. Let's copy this here. So we have our basics. Now, excuse me. Now we need the sector where our shelves should be. And I see now they are too small, so let's... Could make it different, but let's make it the same. I'm just gonna... No, it's actually correct. Never mind, I don't care. This is an example only. Excuse me. We need to make it a new sector. Unused 17. We didn't use that. Apparently we didn't. And we need a dummy sector. Once more. Like so. And we know the drill by now. We need sector set 3D floor. And it's not 14, it's 17. Put your act together, Lazygamer. Knowing this will be too tall and too short, we can just lower it by, say, 96, which will be the top of this. And let's just give it 50 to get some wiggle room. And we can go for sides. give it texture that we want, which is wood. This one, I do believe. So let's go in and look. Actually, I missed because we got higher than I said we would. That's fine. We can alter that in here. Let's just give those the texture we want as well. And then we put it up to where we want it. Do we want it this thick? That's a bit much. If we hold shift, we can go in lower increments. So let's move it 3 like this. And then we have the top shelf. How the frick do we go and make the other 3? There's no more room, is there? Or is there? Might be. Let's go have a look. Outside, our example has 3 more dummy sectors. So maybe we can create 3 more dummy sectors as well. Let's copy this 3 times and see where we can go from there. Let's see. These are all at the same height. Maybe we can do something about that. Let's select the top and bottom of the first or second dummy sector. And let's move it down. And what do you know? We get a second set of shelves. Well, let's put it there for now. Doesn't really matter. It has something to do with the textures. Let's just put it there. Hope for the best. And we have the third dummy sector. Likewise. And the last dummy sector. And there you have it. Now I forgot to show you how to put these in, so this is as good a time as any to go into item placement. So let's put a thing in here. Let's make it, yeah, let's make it armor bonus like on the other side. Now let's see, but it's on the floor. All right, let's move it in here then. Surely it will move with the height. My jolly well, it didn't. Well, there are 2 ways to deal with this. We can go in and I'm gonna make a quick copy of this so I can show you 2 examples. Firstly, we can go in and select it, and with the mouse wheel we can move it up or down, not lower than the main ground of this area however, but we can move it up. and move it until the lines around the object is where you want it. If you want it there or there or here or here, it doesn't really matter. Let's put it there. Unselect it. The second way is simply say you want it on the first shelf. That will be this one. What is the floor height of this? No, the ceiling height, 32. Because the ceiling height is top. So 32, alright. Let's go into thing mode, select this one. Here we have the position of the object, the Y and X and Y position in space, and the height, which is currently at 0. Let's put that to 32 and see what happens. What do you know? It's up there. So when you play this, you can go and pick those two up, and there will be 2 different levels. That's nice. For convenience sake, we're just going to copy you two and put them over here. Rather, let's put them over there, because they are mirrors of each other. Speaking of copying, this room looks a bit barren with just these shelving. Let's copy in our original we can, because we have the original, so we will take the tags with us, copy them in here. That's not what we wanted. Let's leave the thing first, and let's copy the actual item or sector. Put them in here. Let's rotate it. That's also fine. Let's put it here. Doesn't that look nice? Let's have a look and see how that looks, shall we? Oh, why is the floor... No, why is the ceiling suddenly lowered down? Well, if you noticed, in this room we have the normal height, 2 of these. In this room we have 1, 2, 3. This was created in a room with a lower ceiling, and this will copy over. This is fairly easy to fix, though. Just select the area that you want to. You can also do this in map mode. Actually, let's show it 2 different ways so we can. Let's show this, how we move these up. That's fine. In map mode, let's select these parts, go into, at least if we have sector mode on, we can. What's the ceiling height? 128, fine. Then we shall unselect items, select these for, honestly, You know what? Remove the items. You ruin my harmony here. Sector. Select the table. Like I want. And you know what? Let's do it like this. I don't really... Yeah, I have to select them separately in map mode. I like to do it like this anyway. Yeah, I can go in separately and choose the heights we need. By the way, the ceiling height is 198. I had it selected before, so it showed a different number. So I can just choose these things and put a number in there. Anyway, this is how we do that. And if we remove that, looks like a room that's occupied, doesn't it? We should have some books on this, but alas, Doom does not have any. Put a computer in the wall and it's fine. So that was example 2, how to get floors or 3D floors on top of one another. And with that, you can do pretty much anything. I will show you shortly. Now, in this third example, or this would be more of a showcase, with what I have shown you in the previous examples, you can do pretty much anything within the limits of the original Doom and some of the expansions with 3D floors, for instance. While you previously were limited to making floors and higher platforms like this, you can now make floors like this. With platform, we simply need one tag for each area, or they would be on top of each other. We have them here. Numbers, tag numbers are pretty much infinite, and they are reset, or you can use the same for different maps, and unless they are related between maps, but that's a whole other deal that I am not very knowledgeable about. You can create more interesting chests, crates with a sort of 3D look. I will go into depth about them, not that they are really complicated, but I will talk about them in my next video, where I will talk more about prefabs. I will show you how to make this, but for now, just know that it is possible. It's simply different thicknesses or sizes of sectors and some 3D maps. You can have them 1, 2, or even as tall as you want. I chose this one for this example. And we can use them for room, inside room. Why does it look like that? Didn't look like that before. Oh well. I might have done some changes. No, but this is just nitpicking, really. Yeah, I have to do something about this texture. But you can have a room within a room. You can have arches, at least of a sort. A real staircase that actually has supports. That's simply another sector. And I wouldn't say the sky is the limit with the Doom because it's too old and limited for that. But the devs of this builder seems to put in new stuff each time they upgrade, so who knows, really. But I hope I showed you slightly better how to use 3D floors than my previous example. I rushed through that a bit because I just really figured it out myself, or mostly figured it out. It's not complicated, it's just tedious, or it can be. The more you understand it, the more you can do it faster. I hope you were a bit more enlightened unless you're just here to laugh at me showcasing something that I have already done before and you understood it perfectly the first time and just want to laugh at my expense. That's fine, I don't care. This has been the Lazygamer logging off. Bye guys. Ah!